Hello, lovely people. Welcome back to the Distinctive Jovial podcast. My name is Dom. This is going to be the world's hottest podcast that we've ever done, and that's not just because of our guest that we've got on today. It is absolutely roasting. Like, honest to God. Why did we change to 2 p.m., Jerry? It's really
This
hot.
is your fault, because I've got better internet, Dom. That's why.
Yeah.
I've got, yeah,
In theory, you've got better internet.
in theory.
As you may have heard, folks, I'm joined once again by my wonderful co-founder, whose fault it all is, Jerry.
Greetings.
He's dressed up smartly.
Yeah, I thought I'd make an effort today, although I haven't got sleeves.
Oh, that's ruined it now, hasn't it?
That's a bit. It looks really smart, and then you go, no sleeves.
And as I said, we are joined by a wonderful guest. So we have Fiona with us. Welcome to the podcast, Fiona.
Woo!
Thank you.
And she has, I've got to point it out, like, honestly, it's the best t-shirt. It's made my day, this t-shirt.
That's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
And what that means is it just means that I'm going to be stealing ideas for more merch. So, yeah.
This has got to be a first, though. Can I just point out? It's got to be a first. A super fan that then goes and creates the merch
Yeah,
herself. I mean,
absolutely.
it doesn't get better than that.
What I love more about it as well is that neither of us are wearing our merch.
It's too hot. Actually, no, I've got the t-shirt. I need to wear the t-shirt.
Yeah, yours is a t-shirt, Fiona, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
I'm just going to melt today. So bear with me, folks. It'll be the normal craziness that we have. This is episode number 25. We are at year number 3.
Wow.
Yay.
Did you think we'd make it, Jerry?
Honestly, I had no idea that we were going to get this far. And I certainly didn't think well, I thought we'd probably do about the year's worth and then do a bit of a check on, what was that year like? But we haven't done anything like that. We've just ploughed on ahead. It's fantastic. Year 3. It's amazing.
Do you think we'd get there? Did you think we'd get there, Fiona?
Right at the beginning, well, I came in at about 6 months.
Okay.
It was when I first heard about it. So I listened to the first 6 months in like one day. And I've been hooked ever since. So, yeah, I mean, I've been telling everybody. So you're going to get more listeners because loads of my friends want to hear it. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's
Love it.
interesting. Because myself and Jerry, we didn't really announce that we were doing it, did we? It was almost just like, let's just us two do a
It was
podcast.
just on a whim. Yeah.
And we were like, oh, we can't mention anything at work. And then I can't remember how it must have come up in the meeting that we three all had together, in that safe space group. And I can't remember. I do remember, Jerry, your reaction being like, oh no, what are people going to think? And everyone was like, yeah, this is brilliant. Let's do it. Let's jump on this bandwagon. And I was like, just because you want to hear myself and Jerry's dulcet tones talking across you even more than they would do.
I love it. Well, Codename Pork Scratching started listening. Well, he listened to a few and then stopped for a while, and then he's sort of listened to all the latest ones and now working his way backwards.
Right,
So every time I see him, he's like, "Oh yeah, I just listened to like episode 6," and then, "Oh, I just listened to episode 3." Oh, what are you doing? He's like, "Yeah, I'm working my way back."
Oh.
So he's listened to all of them now, I think.
Honestly, my favourite things is people interacting because, look at this. We're going off on a usual distinctive jovial tangent. Let's go.
You haven't done your disclaimer yet, by the way.
Oh, I haven't done my disclaimer. Let me do my disclaimer. That's good.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
shout, Jerry.
Thank you.
Episode 25, year 3. Views are our own and don't represent the companies that we work for, etc. La 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 blah 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 blah. Normal spiel. My favorite thing about this is, this is guided conversation for myself and Jerry and a guest and whoever. Right, which means that I then cheekily use these as like shortcuts for small talk at things like weddings. God, I've done so many weddings, right? And which are great because you'd be amazed at how many people have an opinion on like pineapple on pizza or raisins in curries or coronation chicken. Just the three to attack Jerry there.
I just can't believe you brought up coronation chicken again. So bad. Can't believe it.
But also, I love the interactions from other people. So I had a brilliant interaction on on Sunday, and somebody just came up to me and said, "Have you moisturised your elbows today?" And I was thinking, what? What's this one? Right? And they went, "Yeah, I've just started listening to podcasts. I've just listened to episode 1." And I was like, wow. Like, but it's those types of things that come, like, just throw you off guard. And then they said, oh, you know, I learned actually quite a lot about you, but about generally how you perceive the world and other bits and pieces. And it was really interesting. And I'm going to be listening to more. So yeah, it's those types of conversation starts. And then we get to have these like fabulous, I was about to call you normal, Fiona, but forgive me, but you're absolutely not normal. I've known you long enough to know, absolutely not.
In a good way.
But we get to have non-celebrity guests on our podcast to just talk about like their opinions on life and what they've experienced. And I've got a few tangents to kind of go on just about like my own curiosities and, you know, myself and Jared and the fragrance stuff, which I think is just you know, brilliant. Although,
I love that episode. That was great.
What, the fragrance one?
Yeah, that was
Really?
brilliant.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
yeah. I think you ruined it, and only because the short is currently embedded in my face at the moment, where you said that you were going to use a kebab as your next fragrance. And you were going to blend it down. That was the last episode, and the short that I put out on YouTube about that bit, I uploaded it wrong on Instagram the first time, so I had to do it. And then I had no internet, so it just kept repeating in the background while it was uploading to the internet. Because it was like, don't close this page while you upload it. So every now and then, I'm just going to blend it down. And 60% of the time, it works every time.
Kebab juice.
It was mashed juice.
By the way, I know you said your disclaimer. I've got one here, so I'm just going to read you your Miranda rights.
Okay.
So you have the right to remain silent. So anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we ask you any questions. You have the right to have a lawyer with you during questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you before any questioning if you wish. If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you have the right to stop answering at any time. Do you understand these rights that I've read to you?
Absolutely.
Yes, but why?
I don't know. It's just like a disclaimer, isn't it? There are other disclaimers as well. What's the one that they always do at the end of films?
Oh, the depiction in this film is entirely fictional, and any coincidence or something like that, any like occurrence that naturally occurs. That's
here we go. This is got it. This is a work of fiction. Any similarities to persons living or dead or actual events is purely coincidental.
Yeah, that's the one.
Sorry. So there you go. That's 2.
Oh, man.
Can't think of a third.
Yeah, I can't think of a third unless you can, Fiona.
Nope. But then have I ever? No, I don't think I've ever heard those words other than on the TV. So
now we're going to be really exposed. Have either of us heard those? I haven't. I've never been arrested, so.
nope.
Jerry's remarkably good.
Here we go. Unauthorized duplication, distribution, or exhibition may result in civil liability and criminal prosecution. Actually, you know what this also reminds me of? Obviously, we're going off on a tangent again, Fiona. You knew this was going to happen.
Absolutely.
You've listened to enough episodes to know that this is going to happen. Do you remember at the beginning of each film, like we used to rent something from Blockbuster? God, Blockbuster, do you remember that?
You wouldn't download a car.
Yeah. You wouldn't shoot somebody in the kneecap. You wouldn't embezzle billions from a pension fund. And the list just went on and on, became more and more severe. Like you wouldn't start like your own international evil organization like Dr. Evil and try and take over the world. So why would you copy a DVD, a movie?
It's interesting. I don't know. Do either of you have streaming? I assume you both have some sort of streaming service.
Yeah.
Whether Netflix.
Yeah.
Oh, Prime
you-
Video, I suppose, is streaming.
Yeah?
Yeah,
I've got that as
So you
well.
got Prime, Amazon Prime.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting because Netflix have announced in the last couple of months that they're doing the password crackdown, whereas Amazon Prime and Disney Plus haven't. And I reckon about 98% of people within the UK probably share their passwords with family and friends.
They don't. Don't be silly,
I don't share it with
Dom.
friends. It's family. It's all family. But
We're
they're now
all one
cracking down on
family.
that.
True. No,
We're all the human
my
family.
mother's got my Prime account because I bought her tablet. So anything
Yeah.
that's on there is my account.
Yeah, and she's got a
'Cause
profile so she can watch
She
it.
wouldn't have a clue how to do it otherwise.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
You're going to have to bleep all of that? In the podcast now.
Who's my mother?
It's family.
Fiona, all we're going to hear is, my mum. And then, but who's my mum?
Is that when we do get read the Riot Act then, isn't it? You have the right to...
But no, because you're allowed to use your account on 5 different things, aren't you? So
Yeah. The fact that device is held by somebody else rather than you.
But I control it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't, like I said, I don't see anything wrong. But Netflix are now cracking down that you wouldn't be able to do that because it has to be connected to, and I quote, home Wi-Fi. So, they can boot it out, which ironically is what's going to cause people to go back to illegally downloading, because illegal downloads, things like that. But if you suddenly start pricing people out of the market, and in this current day and age with I don't like the term cost of living with the austerity that we currently have within the world at the moment, the greed on other people to charge us all a rather dramatic amount. People are going to go back to going, well, sod this, I'm just going to go on the internet.
Well, it's a bit like having to book it in at the tip, isn't it? People are flight tipping all over the place because they don't want to have to book them, wait to go to the tip.
Oh, do you have to do that around your area?
Yeah, it's quite a lot of household waste places. You still have to book in.
It's interesting. Do you know they charge you, if you want to dispose of a mattress, you have to pay £50.
Mm-hmm.
So you take it there, and then you have to pay £50 for the privilege of having that mattress disposed.
But the irony is, if you ask the council to come and collect it from your house, it's £35.
Yeah, but even that though, and they wonder where there's fly tipping. Where you see fly tipping, there's always a mattress or mattresses. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that can even be boiled down to like recycling. So where I live, I have a black box, a blue bag, and a green box. The bag is an awful idea. It's completely rubbish, right? And I have to manually sort. I have to manually sort my own like cardboard, plastics, and glass. That's it. I couldn't think more. Metal cans and stuff like that. Whereas my parents, they get a massive big like wheelie bin, and all of it just goes in the wheelie bin. It's another wheelie bin the same size as your like disposable.
That's what
which means that their wheelie bin is like their actual refuse bin is normally quite empty, and their recycling is full to the brim. Whereas I'm a bit like, I can't be asked to sort this into another pile. Like, oh my God. And it's all about that. The more you make it convenient for people to do things, the more likely they are going to do it. Because while it's simple, it's not necessarily easy.
I think it's a really good idea. Can I just say...
Get out the bin.
Oh, shut the front door. Can I just also highlight that I read this in your area, Dom. Apparently what they're going to want you to do now is actually melt down glass and put it into... form it into like 1 meter by 1 meter sheets so that it can be much more easily recycled. And they want you to pulp your own paper.
Yeah, I can't.
Have you heard about this?
1 meter by 1 meter. I wouldn't get it through the front door. There's not enough angle between my front door and the other wall in my apartment block to get it round. It'll be like that bloody scene from Friends, but without a flipping sofa. It'd be a massive sheet of glass. Pivot! No.
To your left. No, my left.
Well, to me, to you.
Their left. To me, to
Now I'm
you.
showing my age there.
Yeah.
Showing my age there.
Chuckle.
Anyway, sorry for the diversion.
Oh, no. We always. Why do we apologize? We always apologise for our diversions, but people know it's going to happen.
I'm sorry
Absolutely.
for apologising.
Why even apologise?
Yes.
I mean, I expect at least 3 diversions and at least 2 or 3 corpses in every episode.
True.
Sounds like CSI.
Yeah.
Oh my
God, it is hot, isn't it? Jeez.
The question then would be which Who song would you use for us if we were distinct and jovial? CSI distinct and jovial. Which Who song?
Have to be one of the lesser known ones. Actually, I think all of the Who's hits have pretty much been used up, haven't they?
Probably.
By the CSIs?
Probably. No. Well, it was like.
Oh no. Okay. I'll tell you which one I'd go for. My Generation.
My Generation. Interesting choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then
Or I Can't Explain.
It's not my generation, though, is it? Because we're at least 2 generations.
Yeah.
Because I'm
True.
old enough to be Dom's mum, so.
Same here.
In fact, you're old enough to be Dom's mum.
I want to be Dom's mum.
I think my mother would have something to say about that.
Well, okay, that's
the
fine.
legend that is Dom's mum.
Yeah, well, there's only one way
Legend.
to sort this one out. Fight!
You'd lose.
Yeah, I would.
I know exactly what she would say as well. She'd be like, the common phrase I would say to my mum is like, "Who and what army is going to stop you?" And she'd be like, "The army's up my sleeves. You know which armies." Every time. Every time. I'm just having a quick look at like the Who songs now, and I mean, I Can't Explain is pretty accurate. Because I was going to say, Won't Get Fooled Again is used. Baba O'Reilly is used.
Yeah.
Oh God, what are the CSI?
Yeah, what are the other
songs?
ones? Who Are You? That's used.
What Who songs was used for this? Who Are You? Won't Get Fooled Again. I Can See for Miles and Baba O'Reilly. So Who Are You must have been.
That's the original. That's the OG.
Yeah, that's the original one.
Which is Vegas.
Yeah. Won't Get Fooled Again. That must be
Miami. Wasn't it?
Get Fooled Again. No, I would have said that was New York. I thought Baba O'Reilly. No, because Baba O'Reilly was New York. Because it's out here in the fields, which made ironic for like being in New York. It made no sense for it to be in New York.
I suppose Central Park is a big field, isn't it?
It is.
That's true. It's true. That is very, very
I wouldn't
true.
want to mow it. Hashtag just saying.
Oh, hang on. There we go. Who Are You? CSI Las Vegas. We Won't Get Fooled Again. CSI Miami. Baba O'Reilly New York. I Can See for Mars is CSI Cyber, but I've not seen CSI Cyber because
CSI Cyber. I haven't seen that.
No.
I haven't even heard of it.
Yeah, see, I think a good theme for this one would be Pinball Wizard because it just goes all over the place.
Yeah, that's great. That's an excellent show.
Yes, I like
Love
that.
it.
Yeah,
I
just
like
keep
that.
batting things about. And, yeah.
Yes. Can't sing that too long to get copyright striked, but I'm close enough to the song to be copyright striked, but that's a different problem.
I've always wondered like how granular they'd ever get with CSI. Because it was starting to get like they were zooming in on Google Earth, weren't they? So it's like you could have like CSI.
I see what you mean.
You know, Owl Ridge Crescent. There's like 4 houses there, but they've got their own CSI.
Well, I won't mention the name of the village because you might have a listener from there and they might get offended. But there's a place down the road from my mum. And it said they couldn't film CSI there because they couldn't find any DNA or a full set of dentures.
That's bad.
Apply to any town you wish.
Yes.
That's amazing. That's brilliant. That's the best thing I've heard today.
Love it.
Second best thing. The best thing is the t-shirt. That t-shirt.
Oh,
Yeah,
glad you
feeling
like
distantly
it.
jovial. It's brilliant.
Oh man! Right, as always, we've always gone completely off topic. Jerry, one of these days, Jerry, I'm going to have to ask you to bring me back on topic, but I think that you're probably the bigger instigator.
Yeah, I think I instigated that. In fact, I think I pretty much instigate it every time. So come on, Dom, get back on topic. Jeez.
Actually, because it was the first episode when we did medieval meal deals.
Yes, I remember that.
Because we did meal deals, and you just went, what about meal deals in the medieval times?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
Just invoke the dysentery and
turkey leg,
water,
pint of mead.
Yeah.
I don't know what and some lavender, dried lavender. 3 shillings.
3 shillings.
Well, I don't know.
That would be like the equivalent to about £1 million now with inflation.
Oh dear, yeah, and our money is probably worth about 3 shillings these days with inflation. Woo! Love it, absolutely love it. Right, okay, let's actually go on to the things. So we'll do the normal, and I will try and keep my my eyes under control. That sentence made no sense to our
I don't know, the eyes
audio listeners. Our audio listeners. I just rubbed my eyes as I did that and said, because my eyes are a little bit streaming. So I blame Fiona making me laugh too much.
No, you know what it is? You saw your life flash before your eyes.
No, don't do it. Oh, I saw my life flash before my eyes. That sequel's coming out this year.
Is it really? Oh,
yeah,
I'm on that.
Yeah. But as with all guests, we'll start with the existing food on the month, foods that we've done of the month. Blimey, O'Reilly, what is wrong with me? And so we're going to quick fire Fiona, quick fire-ish, and we'll go through them, and we will critique or agree or cry over your opinions of food, because that's what this podcast is.
Crying.
Oh, excellent!
Well,
excellent.
Dom's already started crying.
Oh,
he hasn't even heard any of your answers yet. He's crying in
done,
anticipation. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
You've broken him,
absolutely.
Fiona. What have you done? You've broken him.
I need to borrow you, actually, Jerry, for one of my answers.
Okay.
Ooh.
So your Austin Powers impression for one of them.
All right. Hey, you know I love doing that impression. Any opportunity I get, I'm doing it.
Owen Wilson, Austin Powers, what next?
Wow. I'm trying to. I need to master Trump. I've given myself a month.
Why?
I don't know. Just
why?
I don't know.
Why? The less I hear of him, the better.
No, I know, but he's
just paint yourself orange and be an a-hole.
Well, the a-hole bit, I'm already there.
No,
get out of bed. I will not have that. I will not have that slander on this podcast.
Absolutely no way.
They're trying to put me in a box.
I will drive to your place. I will take you and I will put you in the bin. And I'm pretty sure that Chloe would agree with me.
Yeah, she would.
Right. Okay, Fiona. So, go to meal deal. Let's hit the first one.
So, until yesterday, I would have said BLT, but I had the most gorgeous sandwich yesterday, and it was just amazing. A chicken and avocado from Bread and Manger. It's the way forward. Amazing.
Nice.
With Quavers, love Quavers, and Diet Tango.
I think all of those are things that I just got floaty crisps in Quavers.
Floaty crisps. I love floaty crisps.
No.
Avocado. You can't go wrong with chicken and
Love avocado.
No, it's so good.
No.
Have you? So you mentioned Quavers. Have you tried prawn cocktail Quavers?
I
Have
don't
you ever
like
tried
those.
them?
I don't like those.
They're so good.
No, I don't
Aren't they just
flavour.
fancy skips?
Yeah, but skips do taste like foam packaging material.
No, they
I can't say I've ever eaten foam packaging.
You don't need to if you've eaten skips. It's the same. I just thought I'd save you the hassle of going. Next time you get a parcel, you think, "Oh, I wonder if what this tastes like."
The
skips.
Do you mean the packing peanuts? Peanuts.
Packing. That's the one. Packing peanuts, because everything tastes like chicken apart from packing peanuts, which taste like
Tastes
skips.
like packing
and feel like skips.
Fair enough.
What the fringe?
It's true. You know it's true.
Next, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even know where it's going to go next.
This is supposed to be quick fire. Got off the
I
tangents
don't
again.
Right. McDonald's breakfast. Let's move away from packing
Jerry,
peanuts.
Austin Powers.
How about now?
Oh, no breakfast at all.
No, I don't do McDonald's. No,
I mean, that, to be fair, that's fair. I can't remember that. Well,
it's
last time
American.
either.
Yuck.
Have you been to America?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been
Overrated.
to the 2 most tourist hot places. The only 2 places I've been to in America are both like tourist hotspots. So Vegas and Florida. Vegas and Orlando in one holiday.
Oh, Orlando, yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
What, in
Wow.
one holiday? What the French?
With 5 days in Vegas and 8 days in Orlando. And it was 2 weeks before 9/11.
Oh, blimey. Oh, wow.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
So even more wow. So my ex, who I went with, he had a pilot's license, and he decided he wanted to do an aerobatic flight, and so he did this flight at Kissimmee. And he said when he came down afterwards, he said, "God, there were a lot of foreign voices up there," and it was the airfield where they trained to fly the planes.
Wow.
We found out later.
What the French?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it was really quite scary.
These are the types of stories that I like from like our non-celebrity guests. Like all these celebrities, they got these fascinating stories, but we normal people have some fascinating. Apart from me, have fascinating stories. Although I know I've had my actually to be
scary.
That was scary.
It was interesting. Was it? Oh, it was the last podcast. I think I discussed about my hotel room situation with every single bloody wedding that I've been to,
sleeping
right?
under
And I was
the
really
stairs.
like, freaking honestly. Yeah, no, America massively overrated in my opinion, absolutely. But somebody did tell me that you either like Las Vegas is very Marmite, you either love it or you detest it.
I want to go back and do it in my own time.
Oh, was it a little bit rushed for you?
But you would go back, though.
We didn't. Yeah, I would go back and do what I want to do because we did what he wanted to do. So, yeah.
Damn exes.
And there's a reason why he's an ex. We had nothing in common.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Quite. But hey, I got to go on 2 great holidays with him, so I'm not going to complain.
Yeah, I mean, Orlando, I think, is good if you go to the tourist areas. Orlando outside of tourist areas is an absolute dive. And
the place that we stayed in Orlando was an absolute dive. So when we arrived, there's a motel opposite, and there was a load of SWAT cars outside. So what the hell's going on? So
yay, America!
Got into our room, and we were watching it on TV and live out of the window. And this guy got his girlfriend hostage, and he obviously thought that SWAT teams went home after dark. So he waited until dark, and then he tied a load of sheets together and tried to climb out of the window straight into waiting arms of the cops. It was hilarious.
Wow. He's not the
sharpest
tool in the
intelligence of
box.
the general public. The intelligence of the general public. Just brilliant. That's
crazy.
Brilliant.
Yeah, really funny.
Right. Pizza topping. Let's go.
Spinach, blue cheese, and walnut.
What?
Sorry, what? Right, I know you don't want this. I know you don't want this, but I'm going to have to say
Spinach,
it.
blue cheese, and walnuts.
Yeah.
How about now? Spinach, cheese, and what cheese?
I have
just regular cheese.
We've lost Jerry.
We have lost Jerry.
Oh no!
And he'll come back in a minute. Oh no! There he is. It's the. Oh no, Jerry, you are sort of there. Your internet is there. I can see your. Oh no! I can hear your. Oh no!
Oh no!
It's just for the listeners and for even the watchers, because Jerry's is the way the application works is it records locally, so it's recording a file locally, so we won't actually lose Jerry when I record and do that. But for us at the moment, Jerry has gone into, I'm going to use air quotes, low data mode, and so we can still
dark mode.
We can hear, we can hear him, but
no, look, 79% uploaded, Dom. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes, but we can't actually see you at the moment. You've gone into lay data mode, but that's not a problem. Always back, but in like 140p.
That's just me normally.
Yeah, secretly Jerry is just blurry, and I edit it and enhance it all the time. Right, and we've gone off tangent, but I cannot get off this pizza. Like, what is this pizza?
I just love it, and it's got to be thin crust or chicken. So I like butterfly chicken breast, smash it so it's really thin, put the
Right.
pizza topping on top of it, and stick that in the oven. So the chicken is the base of the pizza.
So was it as blue cheese,
Spinach and walnuts.
spinach? I can get on board on the first two because spinach is a great vegetable and blue cheese is great, although in moderate quantities. But walnuts,
Yeah, it adds a bit of crunch.
walnuts.
Well, so do crisps.
True, but
Yeah, but do you like a crisp sandwich?
only if it's a bread roll. Take all the middle out and stick the cheese and onion Ringos inside.
Oh, Ringos. Oh, my God.
That's what I used to do when I was little.
Ringos.
Yeah.
Love Ringos.
Do you know what's interesting? I've just had to Google this. You have fruit on your pizza. Nuts are actually fruits.
Yeah, of course they are, yeah.
I did have to check.
But I
whether
wouldn't have pineapple.
Ooh, you managed to save that one. No, I love spinach and I love blue cheese. I think that just threw me, Fiona. I just was not expecting that.
No.
I knew you wouldn't be. I knew you had to. I've actually written everything down, and it's like, yeah, I knew that one was going to throw it.
I was just like,
the works.
Yeah, I've got no words. Like, I've never thought I'd be speechless on the Distinct and Jovial podcast, but I am actually speechless. And the only other person that's managed to do that is Yevgeny. So you're in very high esteem there, Fiona, as a guest.
Nice.
What? I don't even know where to go. I don't know what to do. What am I doing with myself, Jerry?
Move on to
I don't know.
Nando's.
Yeah, Nando's. Quick,
Nando's, go. Nando's.
So I don't actually go to Nando's, but I make my own.
Okay.
So I've bought an air fryer that's got a rotisserie thing in it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I get a whole chicken, I rub it in Nando's, like the lemon and herb one.
Lemon herb, the best one.
But I stick a load of garlic inside the chicken as well.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely.
And then I put it in the rotisserie and I make my own.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
It's an interesting thing. Like, would you say that you were a big... I was about to say cooker, but that's the wrong word. What's the word? I'm like, chef?
I do like cooking, but
Mm.
because I'm on my own, I can't be bothered most of the time.
I know that feeling.
But I cook. I like cooking for other people.
Yeah.
I know.
Sorry,
I
Jason.
used to have dinner parties like pretty much a couple of times a month when I lived in London.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
No, this is because it's interesting. You obviously we get the lovely singles tax. Yes. But yeah, it's what you love doing. So Laura, who's been on the podcast, who was our first guest, massive foodie, chef, baker, and I don't know how the heck she's still stick thin because she loves cooking, and so I was like, how does this work? But the point being, like, I just wondered, just something perhaps I didn't know about you was whether you enjoy cooking or not enjoy cooking. Because I know me and Jerry hate it.
No, I do love cooking for other people.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think I've ever.
Yeah,
I haven't cooked for more than like myself and one other, so I don't know.
I used to do dinner parties for 12 in London, like all the time.
Are you this type of person that can sit down and get a roast dinner right, timing wise?
Yeah.
Oh, there's some kind of magic there.
Including Yorkshire puddings.
Including the
that
Yorkshires. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, if you're having roast beef, you've got to have Yorkshire puddings. It's like sin against man to not have Yorkshire puddings with roast beef.
Love and marriage, horse and carriage. Beef and Yorkshire pudding. Absolutely. Can't have one without the other.
Was that a Cockney
It's a
rhyming
song.
slang?
No, it's a song.
Love and marriage. Is that one?
Go together,
Together
like a horse and carriage. Can't have one without the
I'm
other.
looking that up.
I know this is a quick fire round. Whilst you're looking that up, I do have to ask this. How the fringe does an air fryer work? I don't understand how it works.
It's like hot air just like circulates round and cooks the food. But you don't need oil. Like you can
You put a
bit
bit.
of oil in
Is that right? So you can
bit.
put like a teaspoon of oil, for
Teaspoon,
example.
yeah.
And like you can do chips, because I hear you can do chips, you can do all sorts. Pizzas, anything in an air
cook
fryer.
in an oven, you can cook in an air fryer. You just reduce the temperature by 20 degrees and the time by about a third.
And it's a healthier way of eating,
Much
cooking, is
healthier,
that right? Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Air fryer. I have to have a look into those. So is there one called the Ninja? Have you got the Ninja?
Yeah, no, I haven't
is it
got
the
a
Ninja?
Ninja, but I've got a cheaper version.
I think it's so. I mean, like an air fryer there's no different to a fan oven to a certain extent. It's just that it's condensed. Yeah, and which just makes life a little bit easier, I suppose.
So what's the point? Why don't you just put something in?
It's a lot cheaper to run as well than an oven.
Well, I suppose, yeah, it would be, wouldn't it?
Because you're using less temperature, less time.
But you couldn't do a roast, though, could you?
No, well, you could for one probably.
Depends how big the air fryer is.
Well, mine's actually a drop-down drawer with door with like 3 shelves, or you can take the shelves out and put the rotisserie in.
That's almost the size of a normal oven. It just must be
it's
more efficient.
That big.
Oh, I mean, as in, sorry, size. It's not going to be the same size, Dom. It's similar kind of build to an oven. Like you not oven door, not capacity, but yeah. I've been meaning. I've thought about buying one, but I have like and Laura is going to laugh at this so much. I have a vendetta about having anything on the sides in my kitchen.
Yeah, you'd struggle.
Yeah, because so at the moment there is some stuff because my toothbrush is charging. Toothbrush ran out of battery, but it's an electric toothbrush, by the way, before anyone comments. But I like my knife block is in the cupboard. My microwave is in a cupboard. My microwave is in a cupboard. The cupboard. The kettle is in a cupboard because I can't stand having things on the sides of the kitchen in this flat. Like, it doesn't bother me at my parents because the kitchen is a separate room, but because I am in the room, because it's the only room I have, it feels cluttered. So I feel like it feels noisy, and then I can't work.
Can I just highlight something? I've just got visions of you now with a normal toothbrush, but with the plug point sort of jammed into it. The wall. I love the way you clarified that it's an electric toothbrush. I'm thinking, I'm so glad it is. Otherwise, that's probably a fire hazard. Oh, my toothbrush is melted.
That's how you get it extra clean, extra sparky. That's a new secret. And Love and Marriage is a song by Frank Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra, that's it.
Yeah, I didn't know who it was. So Nando, but on your Nando's order, so lemon and zesty, full chicken, garlic. Yeah.
Yeah, and okay. I put garlic and half a lemon inside the chicken as well.
Yeah. Ooh. Lemon and garlic, such a grand. I like just two things that you never think would go together, but they do.
Oh yes.
Right. This is just a general question for you two as people who are older than me and have significantly more experience and are more intelligent than me. How did people figure this stuff out? How did people figure out a chicken needs to go in an air fryer for 12 minutes so that it's healthy to cook without losing moisture? Like, how do you figure that stuff out?
Because there are clever people out there who are developmental chefs who try this stuff out and work out what's safe, and then they share it in books or on TV.
But also flavors, because like, how does it come to one's brain to go, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get garlic, right? This thing that wards off vampires, and lemons, this incredibly bitter, ridiculous fruit that has no business doing anything but thrown away on the face value of it, and I'm going to combine them, and it works.
Experimentation.
Yeah, and there is food science as well. So if you think what
Yeah, of
Heston
course there is,
Blumenthal did at the Fat Duck Embrace, so he was the one that's coming up with flavours that everyone just went, what the fringe? But actually it worked. Like bacon, was it bacon and egg ice cream that he did?
Probably. You can get
yeah.
black garlic ice cream in the Isle of Wight.
Yeah, there you go. In Norway, they do tar ice cream
What?
as well. An old boss of mine, he went to, I think it was Norway, and they sell tar ice cream. And I said,
just weird.
Tar.
Yeah, tar. I said, what? What does that taste like? He said, it's like licking a road.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is like, well, I just gonna lick a road.
Yeah.
But then you've also got the thing that what goes together grows together. So things that grow closely together generally go together in flavours.
So
Basil and tomato, for example, things like that. Yeah, if you grow them together, they naturally grow together.
yeah,
They
okay.
will go together on the plate. The flavours will go together. They'll complement each other.
I didn't know that.
I mean, fascination is probably the wrong term, but it's a mild curiosity where I go, there's certain things that we eat that you go, well, I use that to get my laundry whiter, like vinegar. And somebody went, I know what, we'll take something that I'm going to pour onto my, no, actually, because you don't use malt vinegar to make your whites whiter. You use
balsamic
vinegar.
White vinegar.
White vinegar.
Dark balsamic. That works a treat. Try it.
But somebody went, we'll take this substance and we'll pour it on chips. Oh, well, this is really nice. What?
So this is why
White vinegar is actually really good for cleaning windows.
It is.
Yeah, white vinegar is good for like everything. Like if you want something cleaned, white vinegar. Genius. I have a white vinegar. I bought a white vinegar glass bottle, and I had an empty like a thing,
Spray.
and then you pour the white vinegar. Well, diluted it and poured it in there. Great for everything.
Right.
Just your house smells like vinegar rather than something nice.
Yeah, it's not great. But no, my mum's a home economist by training, so I learned a lot from her.
So what does that entail?
So cooking. So when she left college, she worked for the gas board, demonstrating that oven. So she'd go to things like the Women's Institute and show them the latest gas oven. And I know that she had at least one disaster, but yeah, she would cook in front of them and show them how to use the oven. Her disaster was when she did a baked Alaska and the door wouldn't open.
Oh, nice. No.
So I think it's like,
no.
I don't know whether the book's still around, but do you remember the giant turnip book? It's like a kid's story. This turnip wouldn't come out of the ground, and like had a whole load of people behind the farmer with their hands around his waist, like trying to pull him out and pull the turnip out. It was like that trying to open the oven door.
Oh my god! What happened?
Stage 1. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Boris and the giant turnip.
Yeah. So,
right, quick fire round.
So,
yeah, we're doing great on this quick fire, and I'm terrible.
Okay,
I'm
so
waiting for
the next one's going to be really easy. So Subway, never had one.
What?
It's overrated. We decided, didn't we, with Yevgeny? It's overrated and it's the dumbest marketing scheme known to man.
Yevgeny just threw that. Yeah, Yevgeny's theory just threw everything out of the window with regards to Subway because he's like, "What is their proposition?" And I thought, yeah, actually, I don't get it.
No. Yeah. Which probably why I've never been in there.
Interestingly, so we just didn't do quick fire round, so apologies to any listener that was expecting quick fire round. But Subway have recently announced that you now that their entire proposition, I thought, was to me was you could create whatever you wanted, right? So you could have like an Italian bread with steak and cheese and add lettuce and add this. But this is the point of like the current austerity that we have in our country, that Subway have gone, that's too expensive, and you now can only pick from a set meal at Subway. You can no longer just have whatever you want.
No, you're joking.
Yeah. There are set things now.
What is the point? You might as well just go and get a meal deal.
Exactly.
Because the point is because they want to save money on staff, so they don't want to have to prep too much stuff beforehand that might go to waste. So they only prep a certain amount, so you're restricted to what you can have.
Yeah. So it means that things can go out of stock, which they very rarely did.
But it also means that there's less food waste, which is a good thing.
Swings and roundabouts. So yeah, that was my. Was that this week? It might have been last week. All the weeks kind of blur into one when you get to.
It's probably last year.
No, don't say that, Jerry, because it can't have been, because it was definitely post Yevgeny. I do have a good excuse. It's getting fairly warm in here.
Otherwise, it's creeping up.
It was 25 when we started. It's now up to 27.
This is Dom in an air fryer.
Yeah. And also, I've been out in the sun, and guess who forgot to put sun cream on today? Me. Now, I don't burn. I've never burnt in my life, but I am a bit red. There is a reason why I don't burn, and I know the reason why. Because I was born 10 weeks early. I was very dinky. No, I wasn't. I was normal length. I was very thin. I was put in a UV box for a period of time. I can never remember how long it was, which means that whenever my body goes out in the sun, it goes, "Oh, I know what to do with this stuff." Yoink. So, yeah.
Interesting.
The joys of being...
Oh, that's interesting. Didn't know that.
So
So you don't sweat factor 50?
No, I don't. I know people that have to use factor 50 and still burn.
Yeah, well, you can, yeah. People think, if I slather on some factor 50, I'll be okay, and you just go out in the sun and sunbathe all day. You can still burn. Yeah, I know, but I know people that can put factor 50 on, and they have to I can see the sun through the trees, instantaneously burn. The joys of... What, are they vampires?
They're near enough. They're ginger.
You can get sunburn in the rain.
What?
I was I used to get burnt in Bahrain, down at the beach in the rain.
No way.
Interestingly, the place that a lot of people get sunburnt is when they're skiing.
Yeah, because it reflects back off of the snow.
And because you're hot. Why Norfolk?
I don't know. It's just
very flat in Norfolk.
It is very flat in Norfolk. So what's the opposite of skiing and sun? Norfolk.
I'm sure the people of Norfolk would probably have something to say about that.
Well, Norfolk is beautiful. It is very, very nice.
It is, but very flat.
It is very flat.
Is it? Oh, I can't even spell it. Norfolk. I can't spell it, and I can't get it right enough for Google to tell me.
Norfolk.
That's what I put in. Why did it? Oh, there we go. It must have. I must have pressed.
What is it taking you to buy?
Norfolk. Oh no, yeah. I've never been. I've never been to
Norfolk is stunning. Norfolk
it is
absolutely
lovely.
Beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, but it's up north.
Up north? Oh, well, what a hang about. Wait 1 second. Whoa. That's not exactly north.
It is. It's well up north.
It's not.
It's north of the Watford Gap, Jerry.
Yeah,
it's up north.
It's north. It is north of the Watford Gap, but it's not as northy as Yorkshire.
It's in line with Birmingham, therefore it's up north.
Now, Birmingham's not north.
Yes, it is.
It's Midlands.
It's Midlands.
Birmingham is up north.
My family are from up north.
The Midlands is like Basingstoke, Andover level.
Basingstoke. Yeah, Cadnam. Cadnam is that's the Midlands, according to Dom.
Yeah, okay. And then anything north of Slough is north.
Slough. What the frick?
That just proves how much of a southerner I am.
That's where I passed my driving test.
Yeah.
Slough.
Yeah.
I've never heard good things about Slough. I've never been.
No,
I've
it's
never
horrible.
Heard good things.
Never take your driving test, sir. It's got okay, so it's got masses of roundabouts, but one of the biggest roundabouts has got a socking great dual carriageway going through the middle of it. I mean, what the hell's that about?
Oh, is it one of those ones where you kind of almost pull off the dual carriageway to then go that way, and you kind of come back across the dual carriageway?
What is this? I can't really describe it. You come in, like, on a side road to this roundabout, but you have to keep stopping on the way round the roundabout because there's still carriageway going through the middle of it.
Yeah.
But not as bad
And
as the magic roundabout in Hemel Hempstead.
Swindon.
There's one in Hemel Hempstead as well.
Yeah. So
And you have
I
to go round the mini roundabout the wrong way round to get onto the main roundabout the right way round.
yeah. So I grew up in Swindon. So I was used to roundabouts easy. And roundabouts, loved them.
No, I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
You're looking very thoughtful, Jerry.
I can't see him.
I can. He's still there for me. So I'm guessing we've lost him. Like, I've got him perfectly. He's even in crystal clear for me.
No, I've got a black box.
Are you there, Jerry?
He's back.
I don't know if he can hear us. That's the difference. I think he's picking up the phone and ringing me. Sorry, I'll cut this bit out maybe. One of these I'm going to leave this in and just to watch the disaster that is. It's ringing me. Hello.
Both your internets have gone.
No, you're
yours
perfectly.
has.
You're here and you're perfectly fine. We can see you perfectly and hear
See
you
and
perfectly.
hear you.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I can't see you or hear you.
Fiona is answering your question because we can see and hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. What's going on here? What do I do from here? Because both your screens have gone completely blank. I can't hear you or see you.
Oh, interesting. Just refresh the page. Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, he's just refreshed, Fiona. He's just done the. Oh no!
Bitch. Ah, you're back. That's got to be a platform.
We can
glitch.
see and hear you completely fine. That was the thing. That's what made it so funny. Like, Fiona was answering your questions that you were asking me on the phone because she could hear and see you.
No way. What the French? Is it still uploading okay?
Yeah, but you're only at 1% now. God damn it, Jerry.
I
No,
know.
you're fine.
Gotta keep
No.
up.
We've never touch wood. We've never had a problem before, but it will just take a little while to creep up as we go through.
So everyone's going to see me just staring blankly at the screen, going,
Yes,
nice.
and I might not edit this one out because this is brilliant.
Oh, no, so embarrassing. Right.
Oh, it's hilarious.
One of these days, I'm going to get you good internet. We're going to get you good internet.
I phoned my provider and they said at some point between now and 2026, so I'm not going to hold my breath, we're going to get full fibre in this area.
I've got fibre.
Have you got no other option?
We've got no other option. It's copper. So
Really?
so the maximum. So with the speeds I'm getting now, that's the maximum we can get.
Blimey, I could tie a string to a snail, and I reckon it'd be quicker.
Yeah.
Do it through osmosis.
A snail with a gammy leg.
He's only got one.
Yeah, and it's gammy. Slowing it down
Oh dear.
with a twisted ankle.
Twisted.
Well, the snail's only a slug on holiday, isn't it?
It's a slug going camping. Yeah.
No, he's got his caravan on its back.
Yeah.
That's why they're so slow. Get out of my way. Oh, God, just where I live, the caravans have already started.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's because Brian's retired. Clogging up the
Yes,
roads
that
with
is.
his caravan.
Yes, it is. Honestly, I did 3 of them today. Nice. Right. Jacket potatoes. What do you have on your jacket potato and the best form of potatoes?
Okay, so jacket potato has got to be scoop a bit out, put cheese in it, because I hate butter, and then tuna on top.
Tuna mayonnaise or just tuna?
No, just tuna. But with a melted cheese instead of butter.
Oh, lovely.
What is your preferred? Like, if it's tuna from a can?
No, tuna from a can, but it's got to be spring water.
Yeah, I was going to say which one is from there, because I'm not sure brine would work.
No,
that'd be a bit bitter. Sunflower oil might work.
No,
but
I
that'd
don't like
be
oil
quite.
either.
That'd be quite oily. That would be
I
really
don't like
oily
oil
if you
either.
did that.
Butter, oil, cream. Ugh.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And then the best form of potatoes. I think you were going to say you don't have one.
I don't. I love all potatoes. I just cannot differentiate between them. It's just, I can't insult one kind of potato by choosing one over the other.
What about mash? What are your views on mash?
Oh, love it.
Really?
Yeah, especially if it's got spring onions mashed up in it as well. Like champ.
Spring onions. That is not one that I've tried before.
Or a spoonful of whole grain mustard.
Okay.
Depends what I'm having it with.
Yeah. That makes.
And then what? Put it in the air fryer.
No.
Okay.
I mean, you
Fried
could,
mashed
but why?
potato. I was trying to see where you're going with that one, Jerry, and I was a bit like, "What are you doing?"
Potato cakes.
Yeah, well, so I would put those in. So if I've got some leftover mashed potato, I'll make them into cakes and put those in the air fryer. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, I can't choose. I just love all potatoes. They don't love me. I mean, I'd have to look at them and I put on the stove. But hey, you know what? So what?
What did I have last night? I had as part of the meal that I made yesterday, I had rosemary flavored chips.
Yeah.
So
Ooh,
you
nice.
just get the potato, don't need to peel it or anything, to go into I make them slightly thinner than they suggest because my oven is shite, to put it bluntly.
You need an air fryer. That's what you need.
You do.
Honestly, I do. I would love an air fryer. I'm supposed to be trying to save money, but yeah. And then you stick them in a mixing bowl, drizzle of oil, salt and pepper, and then rosemary in it. Give it a quick. I was about to say give it a quick toss, but take that out of context if you will. Pour it onto.
Bleep that from you. Bleep that. What's the
No, I'm not.
timestamp?
I'm leaving that in. It's nearly bang on an hour, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then put them in a tray, 35 minutes, 200 degrees, and they come out like really crispy and lovely.
Yeah,
I think
see,
the
if
word
you did
you're
those
looking
in
for
an
is
air
zhuzh.
fryer, they'd be 170 degrees for 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's the difference. That's the difference.
Yeah.
The only problem is I was also doing homemade burgers, and they also needed to be in the oven for 20 minutes as well. So
But you reduce everything. So you reduce the temperature by 20 to 30 degrees, and you reduce the time by a third.
maybe I'll actually be able to slight off tangent. For those that don't know, I have been doing HelloFresh. I'm probably thinking of ending it soon because money.
It's a rip
But
off.
yeah, it's very expensive and it's 50 quid a week and it only gives you 4 meals.
Mm-hmm.
And I now need to start thinking about saving some money thanks to trying to get a mortgage.
But the thing is, you've learned how to make all those meals now, so you can buy the ingredients a lot cheaper.
Yes, and then make them.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I've got the confidence to make them because I've kept all the sheets.
Yeah.
And I mean I've still got the app so I can see all the historic ones that I've been given.
Yeah.
I'd say 80% of them have been good, 10% of them have been amazing, and 10% have been like not having that again, and they've probably just gone straight in the bin. But as part of some of the recipes are like 20 minutes done. And I find that those ones are literally like, holy moly, like you've got to kind of be spinning pans and stuff like that, trying to get things on.
But yeah,
And then,
it's a great way to learn to cook.
yes,
If you haven't got confidence, it's a brilliant way to learn to cook.
I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to probably keep it for a few more months while I'm doing some, I'm training very heavily at the moment for a specific thing. But after that, definitely we'll be trying to cut that down. But not only is it giving me the confidence in how to cook, I feel like I could pick up a book. Would it be a recipe book? Has it got a different name? No, I was about to say menu, but it's not a restaurant, is it? That shows where my brain is. And then I feel like confidence to do that and read and do that. But the 20-minute ones, as I said, they're all like flipping pans and stuff. But then the other ones are like 40 minutes, and you're just a bit like, oh blimey! Like I have despite the fact that I'm 31 years old, I still go, I'm hungry. I want food now. Rather than I'm going to be hungry in half an hour, I'll start cooking now. I still haven't quite got that down to a T yet. That just doesn't exist in my world.
The other thing I do is I'll make, because obviously it's cheaper to make more than one person. Yes. So I just make up batch cook stuff, and I'll have some for dinner, some for lunch the following day, and the rest will go in the freezer. So.
Yes. Yeah, that would be the difference. Like at the moment, I cook the 2 meal for just me because it's actually about the right amount for me. Whereas I would probably have to buy double at the supermarket for half the price, but then I could make like a second portion and stick those in.
Have you not got an
freezer.
eco refill shop near you?
No.
Oh, wow.
Do you know where I live? Have you been to where I live? I live in probably one of the worst towns in the UK.
So
except for Slough.
My local eco refill shop, and my friend will thank me for saying this, but it's literally on an industrial estate round the corner from the office that you work in with the company that we don't talk about. But it's like literally a mile away from the office. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But you can have as much or as little as you want. So if a recipe only calls for like 2 teaspoons of herbs, you don't have to buy a whole bottle of it. You just buy what you need. So it's like 10p instead of £1.50.
That's a good idea.
There are certain things I'm like herbs and that lot. I wouldn't be bothered. It's when it's things like, for me, the big problem I have. We've gone way off tangent again, but never mind. The big thing I have is like vegetables, because my flat is so hot, and you either have to put them in the fridge, or if I have anything out for more than about 30 seconds, instantaneously goes off. So but honestly, bananas
wouldn't last.
Bananas go from green to brown and editable in about 4 days in my flat.
So only buy mental. 2 instead of 6.
Well, yeah, I mean, bananas you can do that, but that's just an example. Like so much other stuff is just like, it's like, but yeah, if you don't, what I find is if I don't eat, like peppers are the worst. If I don't eat a meal with peppers in it every day, by the time I get to like day 6, peppers have gone off, and you're like, but not just like out of date, as in they are like wrinkly.
Oh no! What?
Yeah,
genuinely,
you are literally being air fried
in my flat. Yes,
in your flat.
It's gone down. Okay. Look, it's gone down. It's now 26.9.
What were you complaining about?
Yeah, it's just the world's hottest podcast. Right. I rephrased this one from when Hooper didn't understand it. Are condiments acceptable on bacon sandwiches?
Yes.
Damn it.
Brown sauce, brown bread, sorry.
Brown sauce. Brown bread.
And no butter.
Oh, you did say that you didn't like butter. I suppose if you don't like butter, I could probably see having a condiment.
And I don't put much on, so I'll put some. I'll put it on the bread.
Spreadable.
Spread it on the bread like I would, like you would butter, and then the bacon goes on that.
Completely.
Yeah,
or I have Marmite instead of brown sauce.
Marmite and bacon.
Mm-hmm. Marmite and anything. Marmite and peanut butter and banana is my favourite combination.
Honestly, I think I've just died. Because anyone that knows me knows that my least favourite two substances on this planet are peanut butter and Marmite. So
Jerry
I know what
looks
we'll
like
do
he's in real pain now.
I am in pain because that's such disrespect of the bacon.
Yeah, but
I'm
the other
still
thing
in
I
shock.
do, I literally, you know the wraps that you can get, like tortilla wrap.
Yeah.
I'll get
Yeah.
one of those and I'll spread Marmite on it. Then I spread peanut butter on top. I don't like the combined Marmite and peanut butter. They have to be
No, I
separate.
don't. That tastes really odd. I tried
and
that.
then
Yeah.
I slice a banana up on top of that and squish it and have that as a sandwich. It's one of my favourite things.
Would you put bacon in it
What-
as well?
I mean, what a
why not?
combination.
Well,
So there you
bacon
go.
and
That's a
banana
new
apparently
question for
works.
you. What's the oddest combination of food?
Yeah, I think that's got to
maybe
go in,
no.
Dom.
I remember another
Yeah.
one that matron at boarding school used to give us, which was marmalade on fried bread.
That's less weird, I feel.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get
Orange
that.
marmalade on fried bread. I could get on
that.
board with that.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that's weird.
No, but I think the flavour.
I mean, it's
think
not
that would
normal.
work.
I'm not going to lie. It's not normal, but in comparison to peanut butter, Marmite, and bananas, I'm not so sure. No.
Maybe
I
it's
think that would
because I
work.
went to boarding school. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe. That's one of those things where that's where you just go, right, I need this, and like honestly, but it goes back to it. Like I'm getting on my horse here, right? But I'm not because I don't like horses. But the point being, right? Like how can like who thought like Marmite, this bitter, salty thing, and then we'll get like peanuts, mash them down and spread that on with the Marmite and go, these two somehow go together. It doesn't make any sense to me. I can't.
Oh, it does.
Doesn't fathom. It doesn't fathom in my head. I also saw your shock about the horses. I can explain that one as well.
Yeah, no, I know. But
I don't.
I love horses, so.
I am afraid of three things in life: heights, small spaces, large animals.
Well, all I'm going to say to you, Dom, is look, why the long face?
Oh,
That's two. That's 2 out of 3 really bad
That's
jokes.
What does Rachel say when she hears these?
She doesn't actually hear them. So I might say them, but her ears just block. Her brain just sort of like zones it out. So actually it doesn't really go in. It doesn't get absorbed.
It just kind of like just ignores what you're going to do, and then
yeah, it's like I don't exist. I'm not in the room, so it's fine.
That's pretty standard for you.
Yeah, that's standard. Standard.
Even the dogs ignore you these days.
They
Is that
do.
what it is?
Yeah, unless I've got rich tea biscuits, in which case then they're very attentive.
Okay, last 3 because this has taken us like an hour to do. It's amazing.
Quick fire round.
I wouldn't mind,
Right,
but I've got them written down on one page of my notebook.
Having meals at the wrong time, i.e., like cereal for dinner,
So, as a kid, yes.
right?
So I pretty much every night I used to have like a bowl of Rice Krispies with like far too much sugar on. But no, not anymore. The only time that I would say yes is having a cooked breakfast with a pint at the airport before I go on holiday. It doesn't matter what time of day it is. Yeah.
Right, okay, that makes sense.
And it has to have a pint of beer with it. It's not a holiday unless you have a pint of beer and a cooked breakfast.
Lager or ale or?
Don't mind. Probably lager.
Unfortunately, most of my trips, I'm traveling to a taekwondo event, and you're not allowed to have alcohol before them. But you are, as in like within a certain amount of time. But also, I'm normally driving the other end, so
Yeah. No.
You could substitute the lager for the sweet cup of tea.
Ugh.
That'd be good. Nice,
not a tea fan.
sweet milky cup of tea.
Don't like
Nice
milk.
sweet buttery.
it's got to be
Don't like milk.
builder's tea, proper builder's tea.
Right.
Sweet buttery creamy.
Yeah.
cup of tea.
Yep. Give me a pint of lager.
Last two. Different pasta shapes taste different, and are there any other things that taste different that shouldn't?
So pasta tastes the same.
Oh,
Doesn't matter
you're
what
in that
shape
camp.
it is, it tastes the same. It's a carrier, it's not like a food in its own right.
Right.
Good point. It is a very good point.
It's just there to carry flavour to your mouth.
I'd love it if we had hoops on here.
And
It's
rice
a
is
good
the
point.
same. Rice is the same.
I think he'd probably agree. I think he'd agree if we had Hooper on.
I think he probably would as well, to be honest.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. We don't know what we're doing, Jerry. We make it up as we go along.
Tastes completely different.
And pastry, why? What? So pastry, flour, water, and fat. Yeah. Why do they all taste different? What's that about?
Flour, water, and fat, and every pastry tastes different.
Yeah. So phyllo pastry tastes different to short crust, tastes different to sour crust.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
These are all great points.
Yeah. So it's the same ingredients. So why do they all taste different? Or is it what's in them?
Well, no. Again, that's a similar point to what I was raising earlier. Like somebody's gone right. I've got what is it? Flour, water, and eggs. Right.
Flour, water,
I've mixed them together.
Yeah.
I've mixed them together one way, and it tastes like this. And then somebody goes, "Do you know what? That works great. I'm going to mix them in a completely different way." And guess what? Look, it's created something else. How do you come up with these things? It's just got my mind, and I don't know whether it's because it's 3:30 on a Saturday afternoon. It doesn't work. It doesn't compute, Jerry. It doesn't compute.
Yeah, but the thing is, I find it hard to believe that you find it hard to fathom because you're sort of a sciencey type person, and I'm not.
Yeah, I'm fully am a STEM.
And I'm anything
science,
but
technology engine. And no, it's not. So it's not. It's like I get the science behind it. Like I get the science, but what I don't have is I don't have the imagination where somebody's gone, "Do you know what? I'm going to try this," right? There's so many unfathomable combinations that people have not discovered yet that you think, or people have probably tried and gone, "Don't do that." But also, like somebody has gone, "If I eat that way, that's going to kill me. So I'm going to see if I can eat it without it kill me. Just throw it away." Like, is it the fungi fish that like has to be prepared, and it's like takes like 36 hours to prepare, and if it's not prepared properly, it kills you.
So like blowfish or something.
Yeah. I'm like, thanks, but no thanks. I'm good, Tar. Like,
so if you followed a recipe in a book, would you follow it to the letter, or would you like take something out and put something else in?
If you asked me that 3 months ago, I'd be like, I'm not even deviating by 30 seconds. But now I would probably be a little bit more blasé about some of it, but I wouldn't
freestyling.
Experiment. Yeah, freestyling. That's a recipe for disaster.
There you go. I teed it up. That was an open goal. He shoots, he scores.
But on that is that. So there's two reasons for that. One, I don't have the imagination, but the other one is also, what if I fuck it up? I haven't got anything to eat. So
that's why you bulk cook and make sure you got stuff in the freezer in case.
Yeah.
Or
at the moment I don't do that. So
you have some wraps, Marmite, peanut butter, a banana. You keep them on the side. That's your backup.
Oh dear. Right.
Yeah.
Let's go on to idioms. I don't know if we'll do all of these idioms, but I definitely want to do the one that Fiona, you've written down.
Yeah.
So we'll start off with that one.
Okay, so at 6s and 7s. So you heard the phrase?
I haven't. When would you? What?
I haven't either, actually.
So if somebody's at 6s and 7s, they're not quite sure what they're doing, they're sort of all out of kilter.
So just generally, well, that's pretty much me
Like
every
this
time we do these
podcast.
podcasts.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So, yeah, I'm all at sixes and sevens. I'm not quite sure what to do next. So, what it comes from is the City of London. So, you've got the livery companies or the guilds in the city. And when they're created, they get a letters patent, like for a royal charter from whoever the king or queen is at the time. And they go into an order of precedence. And there were two, so the Merchant Taylors and the Skinners Company both got their letters patent on the same day. So they couldn't decide who was number 6 and who was number 7. And to give you an idea how long this goes back, in 1483,
What?
Lord
Blimey.
Merbilston decided to put a stop to this. So he allocated precedence for all of the liveries.
Mm-hmm.
But the Merchant Taylors and the Skinners still couldn't agree which one was going to be which. So what he said was, this year the Merchant Taylors are number 6 and the Skinners are number 7, and next year they'll swap over. However, if the Skinners are number 6 this year, and next year the Lord Mayor is a Skinner, the Skinners will remain at number 6 for another year. And that was put in writing by Lord Mayor Bilston in 1483.
Do you know, now that you've just said that story, I remember that.
That's because you were around then, weren't you,
I
Jim?
was. I remember that. It was in all the papers. They had an article on it in the Mail.
The
Yeah.
mail, get out!
Mail.
Yeah, that's
Telegraph.
where it comes from. So,
Okay.
I mean, at 6s and 7s is a pretty good way to describe our podcast,
Yeah.
especially at the beginning.
Well,
when we were talking.
I mean, my brain was at 6s and 7s just trying to actually fathom that story. I'm trying. Right, you are then.
yeah. So there you go. So it is my favourite little, my little party piece, that one. So
Can I
is
just say
amazing.
that's got me in the right 2 and 8.
Why 2 and 8?
Cockney
Why didn't you go
rhyming
for
That's
slang.
5 and
Cockney.
8?
That's
Cockney
Cockney rhyming
rhyming
slang,
slang.
isn't it? Got me
State.
in the
I don't know
right
that
2
one.
and 8.
What does that one mean?
I'm in a
State.
state.
I'm in the right state. I'm in the right 2 and 8.
Okay, no, it hurts my brain. It hurts my brain. Because there's loads of Cockney rhyming slang that I don't know. Right, okay, actually, interesting. Slight deviation, but very, very important. Very, very important. In the office, we had a discussion about dandelions. It is kind of related to these sort of things. So somebody said, one of our colleagues said, "Oh, I've got some rhubarb to bring to you, like if you want it." Right, she's obviously got excess rhubarb in her garden, blah 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 blah. And the other person said, "Yes, I think the best I can give you is, I can trade you is dandelions from mine. Dandelions being a weed." And it was like, and she said, "Oh, I don't want those. They'll cause me to wet the bed." And I was like, "What?" Like, because this was in a group chat that we have, and yes, yes, that's a thing. Like, if you pick dandelions, it causes you to wet the bed. I don't think I've ever heard that
It's
phrase.
something in the dandelion. I can't think what it's called, but it can cause
Urine.
excess weeing.
Oh, wow.
I thought you were going to go off on a completely different tangent with that, with where
No,
the word dandelion comes from.
I thought we were going to go off on a tangent of seeing who knows more Cockney rhyming slangs, Fiona or
Oh, I know nothing about
All
Cockney
right.
rhymes. It was more about, are they old wives' tales? I suppose is the term, or is it?
Well,
Because there was another one as well that I'd never heard of that they mentioned. And I'm just trying to rattle my brains to see what it was, but I'd never heard that before. Oh, it was to do with buttercups. You hold a
shine
buttercup under your chin.
Yeah.
And you like butter. But I was like, that's got to be the stupidest thing I've ever heard, because surely it depends on whether the sun reflects off it
Exactly.
or not. Not necessarily. I was like, well, that makes no sense. But the other people in the office couldn't get their head around that I didn't think that. They were like, how have you not heard this? I've never heard it. I've never heard that.
Well, on a more practical level, if somebody was to pull your finger, you would fart.
Only you could come up with that.
That's a fact.
Right. Interestingly, flatulence is funny. Toilet jokes are funny, but I do know somebody that listens to this podcast who doesn't think flatulence is funny, and they're wrong.
They are wrong.
I love them very dearly, but they are wrong on this one.
Yeah, totally
Well,
wrong.
what I'm going to say is, look, more and more people are finding flatulence jokes funny, and you're going to have to embrace the winds of change.
Oh, get in the bed! I was waiting for it.
I'm here all week.
But when we were just to carry on the dandelions, the French word for dandelion is
Don de Leon.
No, according to this, it's pissenlit.
Yes, I
basically
heard that
translates
on
pee the
QI.
bed.
But yeah,
Yes,
and that's why.
yeah.
It's the,
But
it's lion's teeth.
yes, and
Don de Leon.
Oh,
yeah, Dom de Leon is lion's teeth. Yeah, but yes, dandelions are a diuretic, and they are normally what is used
Diuretic.
to create
That's the word I was looking
for. In fact, they are as strong as some of the commercial products. So it's not. I think it's not if you pick the dandelions. I think is if you drink or eat the dandelions
Like
that
dandelion and burdock, for example.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that drink. I don't like that drink,
it's
but I have
lovely.
seen that drink. It's like a fizzy. Is it? That's fizzy.
How do you
isn't
know
it?
if you don't like it if you haven't tried it?
I've tried it, but I'm a long time ago.
Oh, all right.
Long time ago. But is it like? It must be fizzy. Is it? Yeah,
Yeah.
dandelion. Yeah.
I love
because
it.
it was like a green and pink label is what they normally have on it. Is it green and pink?
Depends on who's manufactured it,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, there you go. Those are the two things: the buttercuts and the dandelion ones.
There you
Just
go.
stuff I'd never heard, and I was like, "That's weird." But judging by your face, Jory, you'd never heard of them either.
No, I think I've tried dandelion and burdock, and it just anything that sort of tastes like a flower, like rose water,
Oh, Parma
dandelion and
violets.
burdock, elder,
Gross.
Parma violets,
Oh,
right?
Gross.
Oh, elderflower.
They brought out Parma violet flavoured gin and vodka. Why would you want to drink
Oh, I've seen that.
perfume?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why?
Do you know
Exactly.
that's exactly what it tastes
Yeah.
like. It's like
It's
drinking
horrible.
perfume.
It is. It's
Why,
horrible.
yeah,
I
why
can't-
would you do that?
I don't know.
No. You're all weird people if you like Parma Violet.
Yeah, 100%.
I've got a funny feeling the legend likes Parma Violets. I'm probably going to get a right earful when I go home.
You're going to get a good kicking when you go home.
Yeah, armies up the sleeves, etc.
She's going to go, look, this is my elbow, this is your temple, have it.
Yeah,
Have
full
it.
John Smiths.
Yeah.
Full John Smiths. Have it.
Have it.
Let's do a couple more of these idioms, and then I'm very keen to do Room 101 and the topical event because I really want to do that. And I think Room 101 is our strong contender for you, Jerry.
What about room 103?
103.
Well, you're spoiling it. You're spoiling it.
Sorry.
Don't spoil it.
Sorry.
Jerry's got the notes in front of him and he's reading them. So I definitely want to do Back Against the Wall, because Jerry had his back against the wall in the last.
What, with the coronation chicken?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've put me against the wall.
Back against
I'm going to
the wall.
fight my way out. I'm going to start scratching. So it's the Back Against the Wall one. That's normally used when Jerry's been backed in a corner. It's like, you don't like fruit and salad? In fruit and food? Well, what about coronation chicken?
And then I do the old, I wasn't expecting that. My back's against the wall.
Unfortunately, this has probably the worst origin. The origin for this one is originated from the gruesome act of placing people against the wall for execution by a firing squad.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Charming.
I love how blasé you are about that, Jerry.
Funny enough, I don't know why, but
Charming.
I actually read that the other day.
Really?
I mean,
Yeah, so I was
I've
on
never
some
known that.
site online. Yeah.
Okay.
out of all of the idioms that we've done, when I read that definition, I think that's the one that makes the most amount of sense to me.
Yeah.
Right? You're backed up against the wall. You know, someone's put you in a corner, whatever. You know, because the other one is they put you in a corner, which from the fact that I spar with Taekwondo, you get put in a corner and you've got no way out without losing points. Or if you're in a boxing ring, you can't get out, and it's one of the worst places to be.
And nobody puts baby in a corner. The funny thing is, Fiona, I was watching you, and I know that you and I thought, I bet Fiona's going to say it, and we were both like,
Yep.
don't say it, don't say it.
We've lost Tom.
We've lost Tom.
I did something wrong in a previous life, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, you did. And by the way, this podcast is going to carry on for another 30 years.
Until we're old and grey and we've forgotten everything and we go over it all over again.
Yeah, this is the beauty. It's a gift that keeps on giving.
I've got a great idea. Let's do idioms. Never done that before. What? I said, let's do idioms. Sorry.
Oh,
God, can you imagine us three in an old people's home? That would be really scary.
That's really an old people's phone. Let's have a race on our electric wheelchairs.
Yeah.
Oh dear. I'm done. I don't know what to do with that information.
I love the fact, Fiona. Sorry, just the fact we said it at the same time and thought the same thing. That's classic. Anyway,
I don't know the meaning of that one though.
Oh, that's from Dirty
Dancing.
I've not
And
seen
how often am I going to make a quote from a film? Come on.
Exactly.
This
And
is
how
true.
many films
This is
has
true.
Fiona seen? You can count them on the fingers of one hand.
The
Six.
only other one I can probably quote from is you're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
Yes,
Oh well,
that's
but now we are
classic.
talking like proper classic.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
classic.
Well, hang on a minute, lads. You wouldn't hit a man without his trousers on.
Beg your pardon?
That's the scene where he comes. He gets after jail and he's with the bird and he comes out and he's just got a shirt on and his boxers and they come in to rough him up. Charlie Croker at the beginning of the film.
Is
Yeah.
And
that the
he's fighting him off with
original
a
film?
teddy bear. Yeah, original, and he's trying to fight him off with a teddy bear.
The original, by the way, for me, the updated version, it doesn't
was
exist
weird.
in my mind. It is
Didn't work.
odd. No.
I don't think I've seen the
Don't
Oh wow.
bother.
Okay, year of the original?
1968.
60s.
69.
Oh, well. I should have got that. The year I was born.
And the newer one is older than I thought it was.
2003-ish.
2003. Bang on.
Oh wow.
2003. Yeah, I've not seen that one.
No,
Yeah.
don't bother.
Yeah. I can't say Michael Caine. That's of course who it is. It's Michael Caine.
Wasn't I've probably got this wrong. Wasn't Benny Hill in the original?
Yes,
Oh,
he
I've got
was.
Yes,
He was.
Yes, he was. He was Simon Peach. He was the weird professor, which is like he likes to big.
Yeah.
Yeah, Benny Hill.
I love that. I love that when they're driving through the piazza and then he just grabs that chicken leg
Yes.
and he's like munching it as they're driving. I love
Piazza. Yeah. That's all he says. Oh dear. Is it gonna take the weight? Huh? Is it gonna take the weight? Yeah, Charlie. Yeah, Charlie. Great. Brilliant film.
Classic
Absolutely.
lines. A classic
Superb.
ending of a film when everything's sliding.
It's on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, it is
Oh.
literally. Oh. This is a dad joke special, isn't it?
Aren't you glad you came on the podcast? Ian?
Yes, I am.
This is wonderful. This is wonderful. The other idiom that I want to do for this one, and I'm very curious. Context. Myself, Jerry, and Fiona have all worked in corporate world. So we've
Sorry, I thought you were going to say the company name.
nice try.
Oh, okay.
No. We've all worked in corporate worlds. We've heard our fair share of, and this one come up the other day, and I was like, "What?" So they went, "That is lipstick on a pig."
Yeah.
Have you heard that one, Jerry?
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a variation of it as
Never
well,
heard.
which is, right, you can dress a pig in a suit, but but you can't stop it from grunting.
Oh, we know too many of those.
Oh, do.
Yeah, we do know too many of those. Absolutely. I'm not going to say anything because I've already had my rant about them today. But I'd never heard of that one, and somebody just whacks that out of nowhere, and you're a bit like, what? What the fringe does that mean?
Don't gild the lily.
Don't gild the lily.
Gilding the lily.
Not heard that one.
No,
either.
I haven't heard that.
Basically, if you've got a beautiful flower like a lily, why would you make it any more beautiful? Why would you put gold on it?
Well,
why would you gild the lily? Why would you put lipstick on a pig? It's making it more than it is.
Yeah, so lipstick on a pig, like, to me, from your suggestion, and it's a bit ambiguous, the meaning of it, because you sort of say, oh, it's still a pig, you've just tried to disguise it. Whereas I thought putting lipstick on a pig was like polishing a turd.
Yeah, glittering a turd.
As well.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But they're all similar, but it's, making something different to what it is.
Yeah. No, I'd never heard of it, and it just kind of gets.
It's kind of the opposite of calling a spade a spade.
Calling a spade a spade.
Yeah. I've never understood the origin of that.
What, calling a spade a spade?
Yeah, I don't understand where that originated from. I get
shuffle,
it. I know what the.
Yeah. Just call it what it is. It's,
to speak directly and bluntly.
Yeah.
Be northern.
Yeah, call a spade a shovel. Yeah.
No, that's what the southerners do. Northerners call a spade a spade.
So actually, a spade is the opposite of one of the idioms that we have skipped, which is to beat around the bush.
Yeah.
Stop beating around the bush.
Yes, you're right.
Which is quite an interesting how they're.
Where's that cut? What's the origin of that one? Beat around the bush.
Oh, well, we've got it here, so we might as well.
I think, isn't it somebody hiding in a bush and you sort of beat around it to get them out?
Associated with hunting. So hunters hired men to beat the area around the bushes with sticks in order to flush out game, taking cover underneath. They avoided hitting the bushes directly because this could sometimes prove dangerous. Whacking a bee's nest, for example, would put a swift and unwelcome end to the hunt. So, yeah, you wouldn't want to hit a bush and suddenly bees, surprise bees. So, well, I would say wasps are probably a little bit more harmful from that. So the lipstick on a pig and stuff like that. The one advantage of the thing. So I'm really sorry, listeners, that I have to do this, but I've got to do this because apparently someone has said that I can do a very good impression of the pig from the Simpsons movie.
Can.
So I can do the quite well, but I can also do the squeal really well. Apparently. So somebody complimented on my Arnie impression from the last one. Come on, you idiot, what are you doing? And I can just follow that up with the pig squeal when he gets the tail pulled. Perfect.
I know, we did a thing at Christmas where we went around the room and got everybody to do their impression of a seal. I don't know why we did it.
Seal?
Sea lion.
Oh,
what sound do they make?
Yeah, but it's the noise that you make.
What noise do they make?
Oh, God. But why? Why did you get everyone to do that?
I don't know, but everybody went around the room doing this impression. It was really bizarre.
What?
I mean, you think I'm weird. You want to meet my family.
I mean, I think we can all agree with that one, can't we? My dad is just me, but with 30 years experience.
Oh, God. Which goes back to imagine what we'd be like in 30 years' time in an old people.
Exactly.
Okay, so if this podcast is still going in 30 years' time, doesn't matter where we are.
We would be on episode 250 rather than episode 25. No, way more than that.
Way more.
What would it be on? Oh my God, maths. 12 a year.
300.
360. Episode 360.
I'm looking forward to that episode.
Plus the 25 you've already done.
Oh, in 30 years' time from here, yes. Yeah. So 385, yes, sorry. Yes, in total, 30 years of this podcast would be 360, but 30 years from now would be 385, yes.
Well,
maths.
do you want me to start putting together the notes for that now?
Yeah, do it, Jerry.
I'll do
Please
it.
do, Joe.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Oh
2053.
God, I don't think I'll
Wow.
be around.
20. Well, do you reckon any of us will be around?
83. Well, I'll be 83, wouldn't I? God alive.
Might be.
You'd
Well,
be-
let's do
yeah,
it
Jerry,
then.
you'd
That's
be
a
80.
promise. Yeah, fine. We'll do it.
What would I be? I would be 61. 61.
You'd still be working.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Fiona and I'll be going, loser. Actually, we'll probably still be working as well.
God,
because by
after the
time
week that I.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably will be.
Yeah, they'll keep putting up the retirement age. And we'll be going, oh, do you remember when we joked about that? Look, we're still working. And we're in our 80s.
Well, my only hope is my dad has retired last year and he was 60. So I've got a small amount of hope that I might have just retired. I'm not anticipating that will happen based on current projections of money, unless some serious shake-up happens and my money is worth a lot more than it currently is worth. But yes,
That ain't gonna happen.
no, I
Well,
can't see it happening.
no, it goes back to what I said the other day. It said, when I was disagreeing about what makes you happy, and I said, so you need to... So this time next year, Dom, you're going to be an Instagram influencer. You're going to have about 15 million followers, and you're just going to be, sponsored by all these different energy drinks.
I look forward to seeing you on Strictly Come Dancing.
Oh man!
Isn't that what all Instagram influencers do?
Well,
Yeah.
I suppose that's the next stage, isn't it? That's the next step of celebrity, is that the Instagram people end up on.
I love that influence.
Brilliant. I love it.
The only issue is, how do I get to be an influencer? What have I done to become an influencer?
Podcast.
Podcast.
Well, yeah, if the podcast explodes, that would be great, wouldn't it?
Exactly.
That would put a lot more pressure on us, Jerry, to do a slightly more professional and
We'd have to up our game. I'd have to upgrade my internet. I'd have to actually at least... Right. I'd actually have to go somewhere where they got decent internet to do a recording.
You'd have to buy a satellite.
Yeah. I'm happy to do it.
And every time a plane goes over, small bird. That's done. Right. I really want to do room 101, so let's go to room 101. Fiona, this is all yours. Room 101. What are you going to put in there?
Gutter press bullying.
Gutter press bullying?
Yeah.
What is that?
So where they just won't leave people alone, and you get people like Caroline Flack who commit suicide. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
And then they're like, "Oh, you can't do that. You can't do that. And be kind, and then immediately turn around to somebody else.
Yes.
Really gets my goat.
Yes.
That's
No.
good.
And
That's
they put
already
stuff
in room
that is
101.
completely scurrilous. Based on what other people have said. It's not based on fact, and it just it makes me so angry.
The interesting thing, and I'm not quite sure where I sit on this, but there was once a proposal that to sign up to a social network like Instagram, Facebook, there are others, you had to prove who you were.
Mm-hmm.
Because the internet then allows you an anonymity. I can't say that word, apologies, but which means that you can say what you want without consequences.
Yeah.
And
it was Twitter, wasn't it?
Was
it Twitter?
Twitter was another one, but we don't talk about Twitter because honestly, the man that runs Twitter I currently wish to throw.
Well, he's already in 101 as well.
Yes, he is in room 101. Absolutely. But
in fact, he opened it.
So
pushed him in.
I opened it. Get in.
Have it.
Have it.
Paul Johnson.
Have it.
What is the actor? What's the comedian who does that? What's his name?
Peter Kay.
Peter Kay?
Yeah.
Peter Kay.
Would you like that in stereo?
Well, you said don't put baby in the corner in stereo or whatever the phrase is. So, although for you it's not as much, but for me, I was like, well, that's weird.
We're not quite as bad as me and my mum. So my mum and I literally, one will think something and the other one will say it.
Oh wow.
That's weird.
We end up voicing what the other person's thinking, or we'll say it together. Which is,
That's weird.
yeah, it's...
Well, we talked about
very odd.
in one of the interesting facts about twins having their own kind
Language.
of cues and language, but there is something about family. Although I learned something about the phrase "blood is thicker than water," right? That phrase is wrong. That phrase there, because that suggests that family is more important than your friends. But the actual phrase is the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, which actually means it just flips the meaning completely the way. And that's basically saying the chosen bonds that you make are more significant than the bonds that you are born with, so to
or
speak.
friends and family you choose.
Yeah. So I don't get on with my family. That sounds really bad. I don't get on with my family because I just happen to. I don't. Sorry, hang on.
Because
How
they're family, you get on them because
because I built more relationships with
Exactly.
my parents and my sister and stuff like that, right? You know, with the family chat is quite often sometimes raucous. Normally with some terrible joke from my dad. And some of these from the podcast you will absolutely love. But yeah, that's what it is. Where some people just assume that you have to like your family, and I don't think that's always necessarily true.
Sorry, I do have to ask this though. It's an interesting one. By the way, I completely agree with you. And when I said, "Oh yeah, that's already in room 101," as in like without hesitation. Of all the things that you could have chosen, what made you home in on that?
The recent Philip Schofield stuff.
Oh, okay.
It's like,
So it's
just get
topical,
over it.
yeah.
Move on.
Yeah.
Yes, what he did was not illegal, but it was immoral. We get it. Move on.
Yeah. It's. I'm gonna try and stay off my soapbox, and whatever you wish the phrase to use.
That's an idiom. We need
the whole of the world would be significant. Like every place would be significantly better if kindness was the default and empathy was included with everything, rather than what we currently have, where it's like it just seems to be default to like monstrosity, anonymity, and like kind of real arguments amongst people. So Caroline Flack is a really good example. Some of the stuff that you see on social media for different things is just like you think, what is wrong with these people? Right. And you know, the racist chants at the football grounds, I'm like, why? Like, what does it bring you to gain? You know, I am unfortunately, I don't know why I've done this to myself. I am unfortunately a Southampton Football Club fan, right? Yay, we got relegated. I know. Don't worry, I've been a Southampton Football Club fan long enough to see them in Division 1 and then climb back up to the Premier League. So this is nothing new, right? But that doesn't mean, and yeah, there was a couple of times I was like, what are they doing? They're playing like absolute
turds,
like pants. But I can critique a performance, but you should be able to critique a performance, but you can't critique a person. So I can go, you played shite. There's no other word for it. You were terrible.
Doesn't make you a worse person.
No. It just means that you can do that. And it's the same with, you know, when we're together for Taekwondo. Like we can critique our own patterns or our own sparring like performances, but we don't attack the person like and stuff like that, because also you don't know what that person's gone through that day.
Exactly.
Like, it could be, you know, they could have won the lottery, they you know, parent could have died, you know, etc. And
that
it's a real
is
big
two
beef
extremes,
in my
Dom.
Yes,
When it's
that's why I
lottery
chose
to
them.
lose your parent, that is really two like quite big extremes.
What if both happened at the same time?
At least you would have had a good funeral.
Your emotions, though, would just flip-flop, wouldn't they?
Well, yeah,
exactly. You wouldn't know to do with things. Although money is only a temporarily happiness increaser. Well, up to a point, and then we're getting into like the social calls and Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which I just love. I love all the psychology; it's so good. But the point being is, like, I get like with a very trying week at work, if people say, if people expect me to perform at X level, it's like I can't. I've had a trying week at work, or or I've had a particularly hard training session, so I'm at 80%. I'm generally give 100% of what I've got left, and
Or I've
that's
been
why
dealing with a complete dickhead.
I mean, to be honest, that's pretty much every day. So, but it could be the meeting before I was dealing with a particular, and now afterwards. So therefore, I'm a bit, it's all that sort of things and things like that. And I think we don't have enough empathy to go, oh, I wonder what it was like to do things, and also that means that it feels like consequences for saying something. Freedom of speech is great, but consequences for saying something only apply when people want it to apply, and then it only applies in such an extreme manner that they can't even take their opinion back.
Absolutely,
or be like, I said it 20 years ago, I made a mistake back then, I was an idiot back then.
Yeah. Or research has been done into something, and you've now got the facts at your fingertips.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it just, I mean, when the press says, "Oh, people have got the right to know," how do they know they've got the right to know? If you don't tell them, they don't know.
Yeah,
They're not any worse off, are they?
Yeah.
It's like, no, just shut up. Go and find some real news.
And this is the problem. This is the problem. They think of all the different things that they can actually report on. They report on all this inane stuff, and they keep going on about Boris Johnson. That went on for a week. Honestly, it's like, can we just start? No one cares. No one cares.
Just leave it on.
But I mean, there's a certain element, I think, with Boris Johnson, because for me, right, he has done some wrong and had no consequences. Yeah, he's been ripped apart a little bit in the media, and it's a bit like, right, media, like, suck it up. But for me, he fundamentally lied as a politician and as a
Show me
person.
A politician who doesn't.
Yeah, that's all politicians.
This is true. But in a certain extent, it's like there's been no consequences from that.
There never is for politicians.
Yeah, but there has.
No.
He's gone. So
finally. Yeah, finally he has gone. But that's the point. No, before
he was a very silly boy.
Yeah. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy. We are all different. We are all different. I'm not.
I love that film.
That's
probably one of the greatest films.
And one of the greatest scenes. It's just the fact that one person that sticks out goes, I'm not.
What have they ever done for us? Well, apart from plumbing, roads.
Best programme on TV. Have you seen Con Britain?
No, not yet.
Oh my God, you've got to see Con Britain. You two would love Con Britain.
Yeah. Yes.
Funniest programme on TV.
Yeah, I think I've seen snippets
I've seen it advertised.
on the things. There's a soundbite that's going around on like social media. It's like, I'm walking through the oldest city in the world, but I'm not, because that's in Jerusalem, miles away, or something like that. On things like that. Yeah. That's what she says, isn't it?
But it's just, so when I first saw her, I thought, who on earth is this complete like dumbass bimbo?
Yes.
And then I watched the first programme, and it is just hysterical.
It's very funny.
You've got to watch it, Jerry. You've got to watch it.
Yeah.
If you're telling people they've got to watch certain films, you've got to watch Con Britain.
You have to pick a film.
It's my Predator thing for you.
Predator,
go and watch it.
Predator, fine. Have you ever seen Predator? Have you?
No, I don't watch films.
No, that's fine. Well, I don't watch Kunk on Britain, but I will watch Kunk on Britain. Well, you've got to watch Predator.
I literally haven't turned my TV on for 2 weeks.
You don't need to. Just get DVD. I've got it. I've got Predator on DVD.
I don't have a DVD.
Stream it.
Nah.
No, you can't. I had to buy it. It's not on any streaming service. Yeah, I had to buy it.
What?
It cost me a whole £3.99.
It's such a fundamental cultural reference. They should
it should just be free.
It should be free. Hashtag this thing.
Okay. Right, have you got anything else that you'd like to put in room 101?
No, that's the one.
Cool. Jerry, did you want to go through your list?
Right. Mother Teresa. Cute puppies. No, I've got nothing on my list, actually.
Nothing. Right, room 103,
joking.
something that wasn't expected or unexpected, something that has you in an emotionless state. Like, you have to explain this one, Fiona. I didn't write this. This is either you or Jerry.
Wasn't me.
What?
It was me.
Is this you, Jerry?
It was me.
Oh, I thought it was Fiona.
No, it was me. Because I thought, well, so room 101 is something that you hate. Room 102 is something which is, what was it, unexpected?
Surprisingly
good.
satisfying.
Surprisingly satisfying.
Yeah, unexpectedly good.
Yeah.
Like, for me, it's clean
sheets.
bed sheets when you get in there.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then,
chef's kiss.
and then I thought, yeah, let's have a room 103, which is something which you don't, it literally strikes up no emotions whatsoever. So, filling a dishwasher.
I wouldn't say emptying the dishwasher strikes no emotions. I normally think, oh, for God's sake, have I got to do this again?
Yeah, but then that's like putting the bins out there. So, okay, so bear with me on this. When you load a dishwasher, it's actually something quite satisfying about it, I find. Because you think, oh, this is all the stuff that's going in here and it's going to get cleaned. Lovely jubbly. But
Okay.
But emptying a dishwasher...
I'm not sure me and Fiona are quite with you, Jerry, but carry on.
Bear with me, stay with me. But emptying a dishwasher is such a thankless task. And when you do it, it's just like completely motionless. You just want to get it done as quickly as possible. It's not really in any way, shape, or form satisfying. Yeah, but in the process of doing it, I feel no emotions.
Do you not have to do it quickly so Larry doesn't get to it?
No, he's all right. Yeah, I only have to keep him away when I'm loading the dishwasher because then he goes, ooh.
Leftovers.
I can smell food.
Yes.
And then he starts loitering with intent, at which point I have to start pushing him away. Back, Larry. Back!
He's going crazy now, the poor dog.
Yeah.
What have I done, Dad? What have I done?
So, yeah, there you go. That's my room 103.
There's something that wasn't expected or unexpected that has you in an emotionless state. The thing is, I can't agree because, like, one of the things that I get annoyed about myself as an adult is, like, I've cleaned the kitchen and about 3 minutes later you think, it's just me, but I've got to clean the kitchen again because somehow it's dirty.
That's
again.
OCD.
And it winds me up. It's like, but you have to do it every day. It's like, why do I have to do this thing every day? Can't I just do this once and then never have to do this?
Well, you could do. You could do it just once.
Yeah, then you get a very dirty kitchen. And that
Don't worry.
Pleasant.
Do it once a year.
Springtime.
Yeah, spring clean. Every spring. 1st of April,
No.
clean the kitchen.
No,
Okay.
it's because you have to wipe down the sides every day. Clean the hob every day, especially after you've used
Just do it once a year. Just get like a jet
I
wash.
might not do it if I haven't
pressure
used
wash
it. A pressure washer.
once a year. Chuck a whole load of
Get
white
that
wine
from
vinegar all over your
cheap
kitchen
from
and then just jet wash it. Pressure wash it down. There you go.
I'm not sure vinegar in the pressure washer is a good idea. Can you imagine how deadly that would be?
It would be, and your whole flat for about a year would smell like salad. But it'd be so worth it.
I don't know.
Right, moving on.
I've got nothing for room 103.
Okay.
No, I haven't. Other than, I think the only thing that leaves me completely emotionless is watching football.
That can go into room
Now,
103 for you.
If you squeeze it into a sort of proper shape and pick it up and run with it, that's a totally different ballgame.
Oh, yeah. Well, it is a totally different ballgame.
Exactly.
Oh, I see what you did there. That's what, number 5, number 6. That's cliffhanger now, different ball game. Love it.
Are you a different ball game of the same name, or a different ball game of a different name with an elongated ball? Are you American football or are you rugby?
God, no,
basically,
rugby.
Rugby.
Rugby union first, then rugby sevens, then rugby league.
I don't know which one's which. I can never remember. Is rugby union the proper
Yeah.
one where they don't stop after they get tackled? Okay, rugby league must be that one. Which
Rugby league is
irritates
for
the-
Northern Shandy drinking.
Yeah. They
Lightweights.
get tackled and then they stop.
Yeah,
It's like, why are you stopping? Just go.
Northern Shandy drinking lightweights.
I don't think they drink shandy in the north. I think that's more a southern thing.
No, rugby players.
Rugby players.
Real Northern men drink proper beer and play
Yeah,
rugby
they do.
union.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of those northern men around Slough.
Cadnam.
No, my local rugby team actually went up last season, so they're like
Okay.
top of their like Hampshire league.
Mm.
Oh, nice.
So,
Cool.
yeah, they've done really well.
Yeah. No, I have to admit, I don't watch football that often. I have been to a few. I think I've done like gone to games, and I think everything sporting event I have been to, regardless of what it is, it's been entertaining. So I've done football matches, I've done cricket matches, rugby. I saw England Australia. Yeah, I saw England Australia rugby, England Australia cricket. I've seen multiple football matches.
Other countries are available.
Other countries are available, but there's nothing better than stuffing the Aussies at something, isn't it? Especially when you win the rugby.
Yeah.
And
I've been to one football match, and I fell asleep within the first 10 minutes.
How can you fall asleep at a football match?
I fell asleep. It was
ridiculous.
Ipswich versus West Ham.
Oh yeah, that'll do.
Oh, yeah. I mean that makes sense,
Yeah.
really.
Oh, I get it now.
Both,
Yeah,
They were both in the Premiership at the time. So it was a long time ago.
Yeah. No, and I've also done ice hockey. Ice hockey was great fun.
Yeah.
Except you can't really see you can't see the puck. You just have to watch where the players are crowding around because it's very quick. And I've done American football.
Oh, you have?
That was good.
At Wembley?
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, Miami Dolphins and. Oh, I can't remember the other team, but my dad is a massive Miami Dolphins fan, which was fine, but the Miami Dolphins lost, so it was a little bit depressing because it was the season that they went nil, and however many matches they had, they didn't win a single one. So he wasn't particularly happy that year. But that was really entertaining. That was really, really good atmosphere. My interesting fact about American football is the game is 60 minutes, but what is the average amount of time that the ball is actually in play on the field?
What, out of those 60 minutes?
Oh,
yes.
Probably about 20,
About 20?
I'd say. Yeah.
11.
Really?
11. Whoa.
11.
Wow.
But the average length, as in time consumed to play those 11 60 minutes, 2 hours 15 minutes.
Oh my God. What? The fringe.
Yes. So there was a big block on the BBC about different sporting events and how much time is allocated and how much time they actually take. And there is one sport where the average time taken is less than the time allocated.
What?
And it's a sport. So the time allocated is 2 hours, and the average is like an hour 43, I think. And it is F1. Because it's not a time allocated, it's a time limited
yeah,
for F1.
Of course it is.
But you still get the odd Grand Prix like Canada 2011, which was 5 hours plus. I'm a big F1 fan, Fiona, so yeah. I know.
Well,
but I've been to Silverstone, and that is very exciting.
I've flown over Silverstone, taken an aerial photograph of it, but
I watched golf once. There's a golf tournament. It was on the moon. It was a fantastic tournament, but there was no atmosphere.
Oh, you get in the bin. I was wondering where that goes. In that news, let's do the last thing. Let's go on to this topical event, which I'm very good. I'm very interested. Meeting connected people in out of context places. This has got to be.
So this was the reason that Jerry actually wanted me to come on the podcast.
Yeah, I know.
Because I keep meeting really random people in. In fact, that's how we became friends, was the random thing you overheard me saying. So I mentioned my cousin's name to somebody in the office, and Jerry overheard me and said, Oh, that's an Armenian name. Yeah. I'm Armenian.
Yeah,
That's
that
how we
was.
became friends, wasn't it, all those years
Yeah,
ago?
yeah, it was. It was. In
So,
fact, I think there's a word for that actually, because we've talked about this loads, haven't we, Fiona? And you've got to give the examples because it's incredible. But I think it's called synchronicity. It falls into the category of synchronicity. So if you look up
okay.
synchronicity, it's all about that connectedness that you've got, which then causes you to be in a situation with that person or meet that person or interact with that person when the odds of that actually happening are like nil, virtually nil.
Yeah, it
So,
is
in
very odd.
psychology, synchronicity is defined as the occurrence of meaningful coincidences that seem to have no cause.
That makes sense.
Which is ironic
Yeah.
because we were talking about CSI, and one of the things that was spun off from CSI was MCIS, and one of the most common phrases from MCIS is "There's no such things as coincidences."
Yeah.
But
There you go.
I mean, there is.
So, okay, so one of the main ones, and this is a story Jerry's heard before, but I once went, so I go to Spain quite regularly. It's my favourite place. I think I was Spanish in a former life. But Mum and my stepdad were already down there, and we had a timeshare. So they went along to the timeshare, and a friend from the UK had arranged for some people to pick me up when I flew over there. So this couple picked me up. They've got my name on a board, jump in their car, and the bloke used to own the snooker club in Hartford, of which my cousin was a member, and they were friends. Right? His wife had been at the school with my then landlady, and they'd been on the same netball team together. So this was like within 10 minutes of being in the car. Then we got to the timeshare place and they said, oh yeah, where are your parents? I said, oh, they're up at the Stag Bar. Oh, we'll take you up there. We're going up there. So when we got there, my mum looked at them, looked at me and said, well, if I'd known you were going to pick my daughter up, I would have gone myself because they'd been sitting chatting before this couple had come to pick me up. And then whilst we were sitting there, this guy comes along and he saw my stepfather, whose name was Dick, and his business partner had been Tim. So they were known as Thick and Dim. This guy walks along, looks at my stepfather, hears him laughing, and says, are you thick or dim? To which there's John and Paula. So it's like, you can't talk to customers like that. And this guy used to own the Bear Cross pub in Ferndown. And he had just opened a bar like on the site where we had our timeshare, like that week. So it was like it just arrived there.
That week as well. I didn't know about that
I know.
week.
And then John and Paula said, oh, do you like Lebanese food? Well, yeah, we love Lebanese food. Go to this restaurant across the road. It's brilliant. So I go over and book the room, book the table. And this chap comes in. It was like mine host. It's a really small restaurant. And he's like, anybody ever lived abroad? So my stepdad pipes up and says, yeah, I lived in West Africa. And I said, we were in Bahrain. He said, oh, really? I was in Bahrain. When were you there? So said when we were there, and he said, "Oh, you might know my boys. They were at the Bahrain school." And Mum said, oh, "She probably doesn't. You know, she was in there 6 months." And he said, "Oh, their names are John and Peter, the surname."
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, so you must be George, and you work for Johnson and Johnson, and your wife's called Sue." I said, I'm Fiona, used to play football out in the road with your boys, and you and Mum took it in turns to drive us to school. And you went, hang on a minute, John, Peter, and down they come. They were the cooks at the restaurant.
Yeah.
And then later on in the same week, we met somebody who, he looked at my stepdad, and he was like, I know you from somewhere. A great long conversation about how they could have met. And Mum said, oh, what do you do for a living? And he said, oh, I sell canteens and cutlery to the restaurant industry. This is really, really narrow, right? He'd gone into a hotel in Hampshire. My stepdad was in there with his mates, and they bought 5 canteens of cutlery off of this bloke, totally randomly when he walked in. And then they bumped into each other in this restaurant in southern Spain. It's just bizarre.
I've never heard anything like that, Fiona. That's
I
when
know.
I remember. That's why I said it would
But
be amazing
this
for you
was
to
all in
relay
1 week.
that. That is, 1 week. It's
I
ridiculous.
know. And then the other two, which are both related to Zimbabwe. So I was once on a train going from London down to Brighton, and there was a big international hockey tournament on. And I don't know what had happened, but the train had been reduced in carriages, so we were like this. And I looked down, and the people next to me, their hockey bags and everything, had their name labels on, and it just said Harare, Zimbabwe. And I was chatting to them, and I said, "Oh, do you know an area of Harare called Mandara?" They said, "Well, yeah, we live there." Okay, it's where have you been? I said, "No, but my uncle lives there in Fimpona Close." So you're joking, and they were my uncle's next door neighbours. So I actually wrote a letter to my uncle, and they took it back with them to Zim. And then the other one, my cousin lived in Bulawayo. But when I was living in London, I had this girl came to lodge at my house, and she said, "Oh, is Charlesworth? It's my maiden name. Is Charlesworth a common name in the UK?" I went, "Not really. You know, there's a few of us about." I said, "Yeah, why do you ask?" She said, "Oh, my secretary in Bulawayo was called Sue Charlesworth." I said, "Oh, yeah, that's my cousin's wife." And this girl had moved over to London, and she was my lodger.
Incredible.
It's just unreal.
I've learned two things. I have a small amount of regret and then a phrase. My small amount of regret is I always forget, like we almost wasted time with some of the food items here. We should have just been asking about some of your life stories, Fiona. And I forget that you've been all over the world and done so much. So I'm aware of the time. So we're definitely having you on again.
Okay.
And the second bit, like I think is the phrase the world is smaller than you think, or something like that, something along those lines. Because I've not quite had those like types of connections, but I have, like, bearing in mind, I mean, I'm part of the Taekwondo circus, as you can call it. Like, there's you go to whatever country and it's like, oh yeah, I know so and so, I know so and so, I know so and so. You go to different tournaments and you learn different ones. But it's when I do the non-Taekwondo circus and you still bump into people from the Taekwondo circus, you're a bit like, what are you doing here? I'm on holiday. I was like, so am I. Why are you here?
Yeah.
And I've done a few of them where you've gone on holiday, you've bumped into them. It's like, should we do some training while we're here? Well, I'm supposed to get away from Taekwondo, but why not? Why not? Let's just do some training. Let's do some training. Oh, dear. Yeah. And I'm sure, Jerry, you've got some stories like that as well. Oh, we just lost him.
Oh.
Are you here?
I'm here. I can hear.
Yeah.
That did cut out momentarily.
Have you got some training?
I do, but I have to think of them before I can relay them. I have had too many situations where you've just gone, oh, what the actual fringe? What were the chances of that? Like, for example, going on holiday, it'd be like a waiter. I remember going to Menorca years and years ago, and I think I was only 12, 13 at the time. And then 6 years later, I was standing at and this waiter was lovely. He was such a nice guy, and sort of, we ate in this restaurant, pretty much every other night, and so we got to know him. He got to know us, and then 6 years later, just I'm standing at Ealing Broadway Station, and he's waiting for a train, and I looked at him and went, I recognise you. And I said his name, and he said, oh my God. And he actually hugged us. It's just bizarre. I've had so many things like that happen. And you say, what are the chances?
I mean, I've got like loads of others, but those were just like 3 of them.
That's Spain. Totally. No, the Spain one was the one that blew me away, because you might get like one thing happen when you're on holiday, or one thing when you're on, I was sitting on a train, and then, but to have all of that happened in a week.
Yeah,
that was
I know.
Insane.
It's crazy. But another time I was in Spain, I was sitting in this restaurant with a friend of mine who the other people would never have known. No connection at all. And the people at the next table was like, careful what you say about Sue. Her daughter's sitting at the next table, and it was a load of women from the golf club.
No way.
It's mad. I mean, like I said, I've done it. I've bumped into school friends. I've bumped into taekwondo colleagues. You've bumped into people you haven't spoken to. I think the only times I've had one where I've bumped into somebody and I've gone, I wish I never wanted to see you again. Oh, this is a bit arse. And you're like, well, it ruined my holiday now, sort of thing. But yeah, it's and even when we travel up to London, I've had it a few times where I've been on the train to London and you're like, I know you.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
Well, you know, there's a
how are you
certain
doing?
person who left your company last week before. I bumped into him down in Benalmadena and had lunch with him on the beach.
Yes. Yeah, Jerry told me that. Was it you, Jerry, that told me? Somebody told me
it
that.
wasn't me.
Who told me? It might have been someone. It might have been someone else. But I heard that you bumped into them, and I was like,
yeah, we had lunch on the
how?
beach,
Like
down in Benalmadena.
It's just like how the coincidences of that. It's just absolutely mad.
Crazy.
It's absolutely mad. There must be a phenomenon about it, as well, because I reckon that if it wasn't like, because you go about life and you don't really you don't really take people in, but if it's somebody it like sets your spidey senses tingling.
I can barely go to Spain. Doesn't matter what part of Spain. I can barely go to Spain without meeting somebody I know from totally unrelated circumstances.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, I've only been a couple of times.
I've been going nearly every year since I was 12.
Yeah. What is your best place in Spain? I'm going to ask now. This is not podcast related. This is purely research related.
Really different, because I go to different places for different reasons. So I love Benidorm, but only if I go with the people that I go with, because it wouldn't be the same without them. So I'm going again in November. We go over there to do the 10k race. No, we go over there to go for a drink, and there happens to be a 10k race on. But I love Nerja on the Costa del Sol. The caves are amazing. And then this year I'm going to Palma, Mallorca. I've never been before, so.
I've been there. It's lovely.
Oh, we'll have to exchange notes because I need some ideas of things to do. But I'm taking myself for my birthday.
Okay. And when you come back on the podcast, you can tell us who you met. Why?
Yes.
Yeah. Brace yourself. Take a notepad.
I challenge you to find someone you know. Yeah.
We want to try and beat 4. We want to beat 4.
Well, bearing in mind I'm flying from Bournemouth, so I probably will end up bumping into someone I know.
Yeah. I was going to say, but
you're upping your chances.
Plenty of people. Bournemouth, yeah. That's a small airport.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so with my new company, I get some major discounts, and I've just got this all-inclusive holiday, including flights and everything, for less than 500 quid for a week.
Oh, I am very jealous.
So I'm like, I'm not giving that up. I'm going.
Yeah. I want to go on holiday for 6 months. That's it.
Well, don't we all?
All paid.
I'll see you both out in Mallorca then.
I was going to say, I can't remember where I went as a child, but the last place I went was Barcelona, which
Barcelona's amazing.
Barcelona is great. I really enjoyed it. We did a lot of walking, and there's a cable car that runs, which I didn't enjoy because it was a small space, very fucking high up. So it was not.
Yeah,
not.
When you said cable car, I'm thinking, that doesn't sound like a recipe for success.
No, it wasn't. I really did not enjoy it. Like, there's certain things, like, I do remember getting off, and it is an involuntary fear, but I do remember getting off and just being like, all right, I'm just going to lie on the ground. Why? Because the ground is low, it's big, and it's stable. It's like the scene from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Like, ooh, what is this? It's kind of large and round, and the ground. And curiously, all that went through the bowl of petunias' mind was, oh no, not again. I think we're coming to the end. Fiona, I definitely would love to have you back on. I'm sure Jerry.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
would love to come back on, and I promise I'll wear my t-shirt again.
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Excellent.
But also because the thing is, I think actually you've got so many more stories to tell. In a similar vein to almost like Yevgeny, you've been all around the world. You do a lot of running as well, which we've not even touched upon.
That's because
Like,
I haven't been running for a long time.
Yeah, but you've done
But
loads.
this is all.
Yeah.
I do a lot of coaching.
You've done loads.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, and that's a whole different like aspect. And I feel like this is just almost like an introduction to you. So you're gonna be back on this podcast before you know it. But we'll finish it there because it's been a good couple of hours and it has crept back over 27 degrees. However, we aren't going to get away with it. Jerry, what are your final thoughts?
It gets me every time. Final thoughts. I think don't knock anything until you've tried it. So I'm going to have to give Marmite peanut butter and bananas in a tortilla wrap a go.
So the 3 worst foods known to man.
Well, actually, I like all 3. I actually love all 3. So when I'm hearing the combo, my initial reaction, my brain's going, "You what now?" But I'm going to have to just try it. That's my
but I
final
want
thought.
to know if Dom is going to try a spinach, blue cheese, and walnut pizza.
Yeah.
I'd have the spinach and the blue cheese. I don't like nuts, so it'll just be anti the nuts. But I might try the blue cheese. I've had spinach on a pizza. I've had mozzarella and spinach on sourdough pizza, which is really, really nice. So that's definitely up there. So yeah, I'm going to use that as my final.
The other thing you could have instead of walnuts is figs.
Figs.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had a fig.
It's fruit on pizza.
Okay, yeah. No, listen. Now we're getting into dodgy territory now.
But yeah, that would work as well.
I don't think I've ever had a fig.
Oh,
Can I actually slice a quick rubbish joke into my final thought before we hand over to Fiona?
Go for it.
So the other day I walked into to see my doctor and I was wearing nothing but cling film, and he said, "Yeah, I can clearly see you're nuts."
And that's a wrap. Oh dear.
No, you're not going to get away with it that lightly.
Like to add
What are your final
is there anything you want to add before we
So
finish?
my final thoughts are this. I have absolutely loved being part of this because I've loved all of the other episodes, and I'm still feeling distinctly jovial and jovially distinct.
Oh, nice.
Excellent.
Oh, it's been great to have you on,
Brilliant.
Fiona. You're a
I love
legend.
it.
You are a legend.
Brilliant.
Right. Thank you very much, listeners. Thank you very much, viewers. We will be back in a month. Do look after yourself, and we'll see you on the next podcast.
Bye.
Ciao. Ciao, ciao, ciao. Ciao, ciao.